Hi guys. I'm joined again by the MDs of Intralink Korea, Japan, and China offices to speak about COVID-19 and the business implications it has on the region. John, how's Seoul?
Seoul is good. We had a little bit of a setback this week. There's about 100 cases related to actually about 5 clubs in a party district here in Seoul. But I think the country will manage to get on top of that. Football and baseball are back up and running, and actually Korea's managed to sell the rights to those sports around the world for people desperate to watch some live sport. No spectators at the moment, but the games are going. On the business side and the economy side, Korea posted its first trade deficit for 99 straight months. It's always a surplus country. Obviously, it's been hit very hard as its export markets have dried up. And in response to that, the government is really focusing on driving domestic consumption. So that's good news for foreign brands looking at a very high growth market. Lastly, the Korean President Moon, gave a speech on Sunday, a very important speech, where he set forth the plan to go forward. He mentioned specifically 3 industries that they're going to focus on: system on chips, biohealth, and future mobility or future cars. So, of course, clear opportunities there for Western companies. And he also laid down a marker and said that Korea is now intent on leading the world after showing its expertise in virus management. It plans to lead the world going forward. So all is good here in Korea.
Good stuff. Thanks very much. I look forward to seeing how those sectors continue to grow over in Korea. Over to Shanghai, and Alex, how is China?
Good, thanks. In trying to compete with Jonathan's news in Korea about sports being back, we've got Disneyland Shanghai that opened up yesterday. So we've got roughly 84,000 cases in China. We did have, similar to Korea, 2 small outbreaks this week in Jilin and Heilongjiang province. So these are pretty concentrated and quickly contained by the authorities. On average, over the past week, we've still had single-digit cases per day. We only had 1 new case nationwide today. And the very promising trend is that over the past 3 weeks, the number of live cases has halved every single week. So from 1,000 down to 500, down to roughly 240 now, which is obviously very good news. On the business side, 2 interesting points over the past week. First is that the government announced that exports have actually increased by 3.5% compared to April last year. This was very welcome news because the projections were that they were going to be down between 10 to 15%, and it's the first time they've been up since December. This has mainly been driven by 2 areas. Firstly is the medical equipment exports and PPE. Obviously, a lot of countries needing that now from China. And the second reason is that the countries around China have obviously shut their factories, or at least quite a few of them. So Chinese factories are benefiting from that. Second bit of news then is that Chinese airlines have announced that they're back up to roughly 90% of the same capacity at this time last year for domestic routes. So that means that we're almost back to the same levels in terms of where we can fly to. And in a country like China, where business travel is obviously a very, very much needed thing, and people just jump on a plane to go up to Beijing in the morning and come back in the afternoon. Right. Is a really good indicator of economic growth.
Good. That sounds really positive. Thanks very much, Alex. And over to you in Tokyo, Will. How is Japan?
And it's warm. We've just come off Golden Week, so basically companies have been off for about 10 days, and we're back into the thick of it. Lots of meetings every day, all of them over Zoom or Teams. It's the new normal over here. On the numbers front, the number of cases is at 15,700, which is up from 15,295 last week, and deaths at 657, which is up from 577, which is not too many. When you consider, once again, we've had this for 4 months. The best news is the daily cases, of which there were only 43 new daily cases yesterday. When we talked last week, we were averaging about 100 a day. So there's a clear declining trend. As a result, the Prime Minister, Mr. Abe, is having a press conference and he's meeting with experts on Thursday to decide whether to lift restrictions on 34 of the 43 prefectures. Because as fans of Japan will know, there are parts of Japan that have 0 cases. Shout out to Iwate Prefecture. And a lot of other prefectures which have had so few cases that the regional governors have asked that they be allowed to remove restrictions. So that will be decided on Thursday. And then on other news, the antiviral drug by Gilead Sciences, remdesivir, has been approved after only a week, when normally it takes a year of approval in Japan. So that's good news. The Fujifilm drug Avigan should be approved by the end of May. So there's 2 new drugs to help treat COVID-19 patients, which is great news. We expect to be back in the office on June 1, and looking forward to actually seeing people and dealing with people face to face.
Fantastic. Every week we speak about Japan, it seems to be getting better and better. So that's good stuff. Will, thanks very much. Right, guys, thanks as always. And I'll speak to you soon. Cheers. Stay safe.
Yes.
Feel free to reach out if you would like us to cover any particular topics, or if you have any questions about China, Japan, or Korea.